One Sunday after church, the pastor visited their home. He sat with Awana and Mfoniso under the big mango tree in the compound. "My daughters," he began gently, "God made sisters to be a blessing to each other. You must love one another." But Awana looked away. Mfoniso rolled her eyes. "Even the pastor can't help them," Mama Eket said later that night, wiping tears from her eyes. Still, the parents didn't give up. They held hands and prayed every night, asking God to touch the hearts of their daughters. But even God seemed silent. Awana would wake up early and sweep the compound neatly, but once she left, Mfoniso would walk through the swept ground with dirty feet, making a mess again. If Mfoniso cooked and kept some rice for later, Awana would eat from it and say she was hungry. Their home was always tense. The air felt heavy with anger. Papa Escalation, once a joyful man, now returned home quietly. He would drop his palm wine keg by the door, eat in silence, and go to bed early. One day, Mama Eket fell sick. She lay on her mat, her eyes dull and her hands too weak to cook. Papa Escalation called both girls. "Your mother is not well," he said softly. "This is the time to stand together, help each other, take care of her." For a short moment, Awana and Mfoniso stood still, their faces blank. That evening, they cooked together, fetched water for Mama, and even helped wash her clothes. It was the first time in years they didn't fight. Mama Eket smiled weakly. Maybe things will change," she whispered. But it didn't last. 2 days later, Awana accused Mfoniso of being lazy, saying she did more work. Mfoniso shouted that Awana always wanted to act like the elder and command everyone. That night, the shouting returned. The door slammed. Mama Eket cried again. Even the neighbors felt sorry. "May God help that family," one woman said as she closed her window. Yet nobody knew the true reason why the girls hated each other, not even the girls themselves. It was like a bitter seed had been planted in their hearts before they were born. Sometimes Awana would sit alone thinking, "Why do I feel this way about her?" Sometimes Mfoniso would cry at night wondering, "Why can't I love my own sister?" But the answers never came. And so in the quiet village of Obio Ubo, the story of two sisters who couldn't love each other continued, painful, confusing, and full of silence that spoke louder than words. It was a cloudy morning in the village of Obio Ubo. The sky looked tired. The sun refused to shine fully. The wind was slow and the birds sang quietly. Something in the air felt strange. The villagers noticed it, but no one could explain what was wrong. At the edge of the village, near the thick forest path, an old woman arrived. No one had seen her before. Her hair was long, gray, and messy. Her clothes were old, but her eyes were bright, too bright for her age. She walked slowly, leaning on a wooden staff, and stopped at the village square. Children playing nearby ran away. Some adults came out to watch her from a distance. The old woman raised her hand and spoke in a voice that echoed like thunder, though she was not shouting. "The spirits are not sleeping, she said. "Something is hidden. One sister is keeping a secret. If it is not revealed, peace will never return." Then she turned and walked away, disappearing into the forest path. Nobody followed her. That evening, the whole village was talking. People gathered at the stream, in front of their homes, even near the church compound. "Did you see the old woman? Who is she? Which sisters was she talking about?" Of course, many people already had one answer in mind: Awana and Mfoniso. "They're the only sisters in this village who hate each other," said Madame Uduak, the midwife. "It must be about them," agreed her friend Uncle Bassi. The next day, strange things began to happen.